Okay, so basically, we're gonna talk about the men's walk. The men's walk is very simple, very, some might even say boring, because I would think like the traditional men walk is boring because you walk the same way, move your shoulders back, head up straight, moves your shoulders, and it's kind of opposite with the women. So with the men, it's you move your shoulders, but the women they move their hips. So while men are like strutting, the women are like swishing, and I can give you a demonstration of both. And me, when I walk, I don't try to like do one or the other. I try to make my walk very neutral to show my like diversity and how I could vary my walk so I can walk different for different fashion shows for different clothing, how the designer wants me to walk. So I'm gonna give you a demonstration of the men's first because it's easiest. So with men's, you basically just I usually don't walk like this because this is like for buff people. But you do your little masculine pose here, or play with your cufflinks and do the train. And that's basically the men walk. But there are some men walk who walk straight instead of moving anything. Like back when I was learning to walk, I used to walk like so stiff, and it's because I used to always want to walk for like designer brands, and it looked like they will always walk stiff. Well, they'll just the men they'll just be like. So when I was taking classes with like Barbizon, which was my first school, I used to walk like that, but the teachers quickly corrected me. So I used to just. But now as I've went to different schools like World Class Modeling and Talent, and now with John Casablancas, I have learned how to tweak and vary my walk based off of who I'm trying to impress, or like I want to be able to do that for the designer. So for the men's, you want your shoulders back. Don't look at my. Okay, so you want the shoulders back, head straight, and you want confidence. So that's really all you need for the men's, just like posture, shoulders, head, and you got to be able to move with it. Like shoulders, posture, head. Now, please know that is like the traditional masculine walk, and I am not. I can do it, but it's not something that's like I regularly do or is like very comfortable. But if a designer wants me to do it, I could just give you the little. And I did used to walk like that, but now I try to like. I don't want my walk to be too feminine, but then I don't want it to be too masculine. I kind of want mine in the middle. But it's kind of like, think of it like this: feminine, masculine, and then stiff. Mine is kind of like besides stiff because I don't want mine too feminine, too masculine. But I do move like, instead of just moving my shoulders, I do a little hips rotation, but not as much as the women do, so it doesn't look too feminine. So I do. It's kind of like both masculine and feminine, but it's just like it's neutral. That's, I guess they cancel each other out, and it makes it neutral. So I can give you a demonstration. So when I walk, I try not to move my hips too much, and I try to move my shoulders and give me a little rock. But because of my body type, it does look feminine because of my like chest to waist to hip ratio. My walk automatically looks feminine, so I try to like correct that by changing the way that I walk. Now, until the women's walk. The women's walk is very complicated. It's the men walk is simple, whereas the women's walk is very like intricate and it has a lot of detail in it. And there's many different ways to walk the women walk. Whereas to my knowledge, there's really two ways to walk for the male walk. You got the like traditional masculine like tiger type of I'm the lion, the king type of walk, and then you have the just straight robotic, not too masculine type of walk, but it's still considered masculine because you're not doing all the hip placements that the females are doing. Now onto the female model walk. You have and there's before I begin, there's a lot of turns and stuff you need to know for the feminine walk, like the 180, I believe. I'm not familiar with all of them. I know how to do all of them, but I don't know them by name because I don't like rehearse it in that manner because I'm not getting asked to walk like that. But I want to know how to do everything. So if somebody do ask me, oh, can you walk like this for Dior or Gucci or Prada? So I'll be able to know how to walk it and I can execute it. So for the feminine walk, it's very like the opposite of men's. The men's you move this, but the feminine you move like hips. And then another thing with your feet, like instead of walking just like cross like a cat, from my point of view, I think that is more like attractive when you like kind of gracefully pick up and then kind of side swipe it and put it on top instead of just the catwalk. And I can give you a demonstration. So instead of just like walking a catwalk, I like seeing where the women like kind of do this and then not that drastic, but I'm gonna show you, give you the whole walk. You see how the leg is like, is giving this? So like, if these were your legs, and then it's like, instead of the traditional catwalk, I don't think I can do the traditional catwalk. But let me see, the traditional is just like, but I only think I can do the one that I actually like looking at. So the one that I like looking at is when the legs kind of, when your feet kind of like does that before you cross over. So let me do that again so you can see. You see that? That. When your leg goes like that before crossing over, I find that attractive when a woman walks. But besides that, it's really the same, even though it could vary. So you just move your hips and try to make body movements for as like pictures because you don't want to ever get caught straight on. Try to make angles. And out of all the schools I went to, everyone told me try to make angles. Well, not me. Everyone states that women should try to make angles. Well, all models in general, but women specifically try to make angles with their body because the movement is so fluid and they have the ability to take pictures in angles while doing something like feminine. So let me give you that. Try to make movements with your body, like not Shalom Harlow and Naomi Campbell, my two favorite female models. And the way she walks is just like she moves her hips and like her face, the way her face just with her body is just like such a beautiful sight. So like her feet are doing the, like I'll call it the scoop, the Azur scoop, and then her hips are doing just the sharp pinches, and then her chest is just kind of rocking with it, and her head is just also rocking with it. And I can give you a demonstration of that. Naomi Campbell takes long strides, which make her seem more confident, so her head doesn't rock like a fast catwalker. Ooh, hold up. It's kind of hard. Her walk is also called the horse walk because it's long, confident strides instead of small, feminine strides like a cat. Now it ain't the best because I don't walk like that, but I'm trying my best. Let me see if I can give you a demonstration like this so you can see it. Yeah, this is, as you can see, this is not how I typically walk, but it's like, yeah, there you go. And now I can do it back. I really like this model's walk coming up because she moves so fluidly like water, and it's really good for pictures. You see how she twisting and turning? It shows confidence and it shows like playfulness, youthfulness. So as her feet sickle, that's the word I was speaking of. I think it's a ballet word. As your feet like sickle is kind of outside, inside, but as it like sickle outwards, I find that very attractive when a female walk. And then the hip, just sharp movements, and then the rest of your upper body follow it. That's the ideal female walk in my head, but it could vary because I know some female who like, instead of sharp movements, they kind of like drag it. Like I said, there's a variety of female walks, or some people just like twist, and it's anything you can do that look good on camera with the angles. As long as you're making body movements and angles with your body, the female model walk is easy, but it's complicated because there's a variety. But that's basically all of walking from the masculine to the feminine, and I'm gonna do both one more time to show you the difference. And I'm gonna see if I can do it side by side. Masculine, you move the shoulders and you walk on a train. Now I think that's one thing I forgot to mention with the masculine. You don't cross, like, I think it would be common sense, but let me reiterate. You don't cross your legs like a cat. You walk more like a dog, I would say, just straight. And then one thing I find like I look into about male models, when their feet point outward, the walk look better. So instead of like doing like this and walking straight, if your feet are pointed out, that's a more masculine stance. Like when you are sitting down and like your legs point out, your feet point out. I think when you walk and your feet point out, it gives it a more masculine look or masculine flavor, and I can give you a demonstration of that. See my feet, when your feet point out, it gives you more of a masculine look. But feminine is kind of like when your feet curves in. I like when you spoon it. I know I'm calling it different names, but like the Azure swoop, or like the spoon, you kind of like picking it up. Yeah, it's kind of like that movement, but that's just drastic what it is. But yeah, that's the basics, or whatever level you are of modeling, from masculine to feminine to even the straight backs, I'll call them, when you just walk like a robot. But now I'm gonna be walking with some of my clothes, so now you can see the difference between the masculine and feminine, and you can look at my walk too. Another thing about the feminine walk that I just like remember, some females, they like swish their hips, kind of like, think of it as a shark or a mermaid just swishing, then some hit it like boom, 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 boom. Then some like groove into it. And I don't think I could demonstrate, but I'm gonna try to the best of my abilities. So first, I'm gonna start with like the swish, I guess. Some people lead with their hips while their hips follow. And it's like, ooh, I look crazy. Let's see. And then you got the little like poke. I says the poke like. So I guess that's like when the hips go like poking to the side, and then you got the swish. So I'm gonna try the poke again because it didn't eat like it should. So it's like. Okay, so that was the poke, and you can see the difference between the poke and then the swish. And I'm gonna see if I can get it side by side. Additionally, the female model walk has a bounce to it. So like, I guess, so you can see everything jump, not in a sexual way, but like you can see how your dress jump, and then you can see how your hair jumps. Then maybe your bust, you can see how your bust jumps, and how you normally will walk on the beach or how you will walk on the street, a bounce. So you can see how the dress move and how it just like flows and stuff. So don't forget, if you're doing the female model walk, not only have the azure swoop, but have the bounce, so you can show off, like, you can even show off your curves with the bounce. You can show off the garment with the bounce. So bouncing is an additional thing to the female model walk that makes it look more attractive. Next, I'm gonna talk about like garments. I guess that's the word, or like things that you wear over that you could take off at the end of the runway. And I'll give you an example. Oh. That gives you the idea of what it would look like. It really wasn't effective in this robe because it's kind of like sticking to my shirt in a way, but in high fashion, that usually would not happen. It would be like a smooth transition to the arms and after. So after you slide it off, and then you pick it up with one arm, and then try to swing it and make body movements like. So let me give you a small demonstration again. So when you have it on, you slide it off down the arms. You pick it up with one arm, and then you try to make body movements like moving it. So it could give you good pictures. And I've seen the biggest models from Shalom, Naomi, even Tyra Banks do this. It's like a well-known trick, and you just move, trying to make body movements with it, making it flowy and look good, and really using it to your advantage as like an extension of yourself. And I'm gonna give you another example of taking the accessory off with the shirt. You start to undo it when you get to the middle. So when you get to the end, after you slide it down, grab it, swing, swing, and go. So as you can see, like, I think this is more of a like feminine trait in modeling. So when you get the garments and you make body movements, trying to make it look flowy and free, it really just brings to life the whole outfit, and it shows what a good model you are. So swinging it and making movements for pictures, and I'm gonna try to post a picture as I upload this video and show you like how different it looks from a usual just turn to a turn with something that's an accessory that makes you look more defined and sophisticated. So as you can see, walking with an accessory, it makes it look more defined and sophisticated, and it gives you a better look. It just shows your depth into modeling. And that's not the end of the video. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Well, I'm gonna post this regardless, but my underwear is popping out at the bottom of it, Ethicus. But I want to get used to seeing myself like shirtless or with little clothes on, because I know that's how the male modeling industry is. It's very little clothes for men and women. But I feel like for men, if you don't have your shirt off, or if you're not showing a budge or your thigh, or maybe even if you got butt, if you're not showing none of that, you won't be a highly paid model. And you won't even make it in the industry, because there's always somebody else who will. So I'm trying to get used to seeing myself. So if somebody asks me, oh, can you walk in something like this? It's gonna be like, yep, where's that? Instead of being insecure and shy and stuff. That's why I'm working on myself and working on looking on myself. And that's why I've started posting videos of me in my boxers, because there are swimwear videos of men that be in Speedos, which is, in my head, worse than boxers. So I'm slowly inching there, but I want to be successful, and this is my dream career, and I will make it in it. So I'm preparing myself for the industry. And next, I'll be showing me doing my swimwear, even though this is swimwear.
Even while editing this, I cringe at the sight of seeing myself shirtless, because I know I got to get over it. It's an insecurity, and it's something that I have to work through. And I know I will not make it in the industry fully clothed. You know, I know you have to be half naked, sometimes naked, to even be looked at or get a job. I was looking at a famous male model the other day, and he said a regular casting call is just them telling you to take your shirt off, and right then and at that moment they're gonna see if they want to be with you or like sign you or not, just based off of like the way your body is, or how you look, or how much weight you are. That's why I'm so big on the way my body looks, because I want to make it in this career, and I want to be pitch perfect so everything else can fall into place where I could be successful. And it took me a long time to accept my body type. I don't think I'm fat, but I don't think I'm like a stick. I have some body definition, but at the same time, I don't want to be exploited for the way that my body looks, because I was born with this body, and I'm currently 17, and I'm just now learning to accept my body. And I know that the male modeling industry, well, both male and female, but specifically the male modeling industry, because that's what I'm going to be a part of, is very vulgar. And if your clothes ain't off, you ain't getting the job or the gig. But thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.